अस्सलामु अलैकुम वरहमतुल्लाहि वबरकातुहू। क़ाल अल्लाहु तबारक व तआला फ़िल कलामिल मजीद वल फ़ुरक़ानिल हमीद फ़अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम इन्नल्लाहा व मलाइकतहु युसल्लूना अलन नबी या अय्युहल्लज़ीना आमनू सल्लु अलैहि व सल्लिमू तस्लीमा अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला मुहम्मद व अला आलि मुहम्मद कमा सल्लैता अला इब्राहीम व अला आलि इब्राहीम इन्नका हमीदुम मजीद अल्लाहुम्मा बारिक अला मुहम्मद व अला आलि मुहम्मद कमा बारकता अला इब्राहीम व अला आलि इब्राहीम इन्नका हमीदुम मजीद। Inshallah, we are going to concentrate today from ayah number 62 to 72. Before going into the recitation and explanation, I'm just going to go for the previous ayah, where we discuss about the Bani Israel moving from the clutches of Pharaoh, crossing the sea, and then going into the sheltered area, and then they are moving. And the last thing we discussed was that they entered a city where they were ordered to say, Hittatun, prostrate and show gratefulness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But what did they do is change the name from Hittatun to Hintatun, and instead of prostrating, they started moving on their bottom and laughing and making fun of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered to them. Anyway, they entered this place and they spent quite a lot of time. While they are moving from the area after crossing, they used to stay places for a short while and then move along and move along and down. When they moved from Egypt and Misr to this place, they carried everything they had. All their animals, the gold, silver, their precious things, and some people had, like we carry antiques related to like 4, 5, 6 generations before them. They carry their manuscripts and things like that, or a family belonging thing. They kept it as a precious thing. So they used to carry these things as well. While they were passing, what happened is, I'm going to say the story of 2 or 3 things here in this one. And before going on to this, as I mentioned in the last class about Israeliyat, because for Israeliyat is not mentioned in Al-Qur'an Al-Kareem. And sometimes you may not find in authentic hadith, but there are 2 hadiths I want to mention about Israeliyat. One is in Sahih Bukhari, volume number 4, book number 56. The hadith number is 667. And it is narrated by Abdullah bin Amr bin As radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, convey my teaching to the people even if it were a single sentence, and tell others the stories of Bani Israel which have been taught to you, for it is not sinful to do so. And whoever tells a lie on me intentionally will surely take his place in the hellfire. This is Sahih Bukhari, volume 4, book 56, number 667. We have heard this hadith so many times, but only the fraction at the beginning, where it says that whoever conveys my teaching to the people, even if it were a single sentence, and then next we are conveyed about the last sentence, that whoever tells a lie on me intentionally will surely take his place in the hellfire. But in Sahih Bukhari, the whole hadith comes like this. The Prophet says, convey my teachings to the people even if it were a single sentence, and tell others the stories of Bani Israel which have been taught to you, for it is not sinful to do so. This sentence is most time avoided by lots of muhaddithin, and I don't know what the reason is, because they say not to mention about Israeliyat. But this is in Sahih Bukhari. The second hadith is Sunan Abu Dawud, book number 25, number 3654, narrated by Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu. The Prophet ﷺ, peace be upon him, said, relate traditions from the children of Israel, there is no harm. And another hadith in Abu Dawud, and this is book number 25, number is 3655, narrated by Abdullah bin Amr bin As radiallahu ta'ala, again the same one who narrated in the Sahih Bukhari. The Prophet, peace be upon him, used to relate to us traditions from the children of Israel till morning came. He would not get up except for obligatory prayers. Can you imagine sometime going for such a long time and he only stopped for the obligatory prayers, and apart from that, so you can imagine how many stories about Bani Israel he has told the Sahaba, but most of them are not recorded in books of Hadith because the Muhaddisin was very, very careful about what to take and what not to take. As I mentioned in Sahih Bukhari, Imam Bukhari has selected the Hadith and he had a very, very stringent, strict way to select the Hadith. As I said, there were 5 conditions. It has to be from a person who is reliable and trustworthy, whose memory is good. Next thing is he has either memorized or written it by hand. And the asnad, the chain of narration is muttasil, there is no breaking. It is free from flaws and it is not hadith shaz. And I mentioned hadith shaz is one hadith contradicts to another hadith, apparently, because we have no knowledge about this. We might think this hadith is going against that hadith, but it is not. They are both correct hadiths. It is difficulty with our understanding. But because Imam Bukhari has selected this criteria, so he has picked up the hadith, and suppose if we say anything, oh, it is not in Sahih Bukhari, it is our mistake. Because Imam Bukhari knows Rafa'adan was done, and that is hadith narrated by Abdullah bin Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and all these 5 criteria completed, he picked up and put in Sahih Bukhari. Abdullah bin Masud radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrated saying that Rasulullah used to do Rafa'adan, but later part he stopped doing Rafa'adan. Imam Tirmizi picked up, he said according to the 5 criteria, one is not there. So it doesn't matter. So he picked up, and this is in the book of Tirmizi, and that's also narrated as Sahih. But Imam Bukhari, he knew this hadith, but he said, I cannot put in my Sahih because it does not fulfill that character. He knew this is a correct hadith, but because it's not completely fulfilling all the criteria, I cannot put it in Sahih Bukhari. So if this hadith is not, another thing, I'm asking in front of you, you be witness. I am apologizing before telling this word, and I'm asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive me, and asking Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam to forgive me. Imam Bukhari has picked up Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam passing water, urinating, okay? Sitting down all the time. One time he passed standing up. And this portion of hadith fulfills all the criteria of Imam Bukhari. So in whole of Imam Bukhari's Sahih hadith, if you look at all the hadith about the urination, is only one hadith which says Rasulullah passed the urine standing. You looked in Sahih Bukhari. There is no hadith saying that he did it sitting down, because that did not fulfill the 5 criteria. So now you can imagine, if the hadith is not in Sahih Bukhari, don't worry. If it is in the rest of the books, authentic books, you go ahead. Now today's tafsir, A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim, bismillahir rahmanir rahim. I'll quickly do the 10 ayah and then I'll go for the tafsir. A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim, bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Innal lazina amanu والذين حادوا والنصارى والصابئين من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر وعمل صالحا فلهم أجرهم عند ربهم ولا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون وإذا أخذنا ميثاقكم ورفعنا فوقكم الطور خذوا ما آتيناكم بقوة واذكروا ما فيه لعلكم تتقون ثم توليتم من بعد ذلك فلولا فضل الله عليكم ورحمته لكنتم من الخاسرين ولقد علمتم الذين اعتدوا منكم في السبت فقلنا لهم كونوا قردة خاسئين فجعلناها نكالا لما بين يديها وما خلفها وموعظة للمتقين وإذ قال موسى لقومه إن الله يأمركم أن تذبحوا بقرة قالوا أتتخذنا هزوا قال أعوذ بالله أن أكون من الجاهلين قالوا ادع لنا ربك يبين لنا ما هي قال إنه يقول إنها بقرة لا فارز ولا بكر أوعان بين ذلك فافعلوا ما تؤمرون قالوا ادع لنا ربك يبين لنا ما لونها قال إنه يقول إنها بقرة صفراء فاقع لونها تسر الناظرين قالوا ادع لنا ربك يبين لنا ما هي إن البقرة تشابه علينا وإنا إن شاء الله لمهتدون قال إنه يقول إنها بقرة لا ذلول تثير الأرض ولا تسقي الحرث مسلمة لا عشية فيها قالوا الآن جئت بالحق فذبحوها وما كادوا يفعلون وإذ قتلتم نفسا فادارأتم فيها والله مخرج ما كنتم تكتمون. This is ayah number 72. One thing, this ayah number 72 should be before the ayah number 62. But this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned it and we accept it. But for the tafsir purposes, we have to classify ayah number 72 as beginning of 62. So first thing is, وَإِذْ قَتَلْتُمْ نَفْسًا فَادَّارَأْتُمْ فِيهَا وَاللَّهُ مُخْرِجٌ مَا كُنْتُمْ تَكْتُمُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that this happened, they killed somebody and they wanted to find out who killed, and that's the reason why all these details are going to be given now. So starting from our tafsir, what we are doing is, first of all, إن الذين آمنوا والذين هادوا والنصارى والصابين من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر وعمل صالحا ولهم أجر عند ربهم ولا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, verily, the people who are believers and those people who are Hadu means Yahudi, one Nasara, and the Nasara, that's Christian, was Sabiin. What is Sabiin? Sabiin are the group of people who are neither Jews nor the Christians, but they selected good points from all religions and they formed their own religion. And saying that, okay, we pick it from Christians and the Jews, and we believe in Ibrahim alayhi salam, and they made their own points, choosing all the good things from. And they made their own religion. Okay? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here is saying that whether you call yourself Mu'min, Mufassirin, some of them, they say, by this, Inna allazina amanu, this is mentioned about the munafiqeen, who claim themselves that they are also Mu'min. But in fact, they were not Mu'min. But all those people who claim yourself to be a Mu'min, or you claim yourself to be a Yahudi, or you claim yourself to be a Nasara or a Christian, or a Sabi, the criteria is Amana Billah wal Yawmil Akhir. If you say Amana Billah, what is the criteria for having the Iman of Allah? Your Iman is not complete unless you believe in everything. Amantu billahi wa malaikatihi wa kutubihi wa rusulihi wal yawmil akhiri wa qadri khairi wa sharri min Allahi ta'ala wal ba'thi ba'dal maut. So if you say Iman, all this criteria comes within Iman billah. But next thing, why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says Man amana billahi wal yawmil akhir, because in Iman, yawmil akhir is also considered. But why especially saying again? Because you don't be proud. We belong to this group, so the hereafter is all given to us. We don't have to worry about the hereafter. But Allah Ta'ala is specifying about the hereafter. Because what the Jews used to say? They used to say, Nahanu abnaullahu ahibbahu. We are the children of Nauzubillah Allah, and we are the beloved ones to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they used to say, Lan tamassanu naru illa ayyaman ma'dudat. The hellfire is not going to touch us except for just to show you that we are going to be sent into the hellfire. It's not going to touch us. We are going to be sent and come back. So they used to make all these derogations, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is specifying here, Amanu billah and then Yawmil Akhir. So don't think that you are going to be saved. It is a hint given to the Muslims, the Ummah of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Don't think that we belong to this Ummah, so Akhirat is nothing for us to worry. We have been promised the Jannah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to take this thing out of our mind. No, you have to have Iman and Amal Salih, good deeds. Then only you can expect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who is Fatima Raziyallahu ta'ala anhu? The daughter of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the wife of Ali Raziyallahu ta'ala anhu, and Rasulullah told Ali Raziyallahu ta'ala, Ali, are you happy? Your house is going to be in front of my house in Jannah. So she is the daughter of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, wife of Ali Raziyallahu ta'ala anhu, mother of Hassan and Hussein Raziyallahu ta'ala anhu, for whom Rasulullah said, they are Sayyidi Shababi Ahlil Jannah. They are the leaders of the youth going into the paradise. To Fatima Raziyallahu ta'ala anhu, Rasulullah told, "O Fatima, don't think you are the daughter of the Prophet and going to enter paradise. No, you have to do good deeds to enter the paradise." To Fatima Raziyallahu ta'ala anhu. So what is our position? So never think Jannah is promised to us and we are going to enter. No. Inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is let us enter the paradise, but we have to think about our Iman and Amal Saleh. That is specified here. Man amana billahi wal yawmil akhir wa amila salihin falahum ajruhum inda rabbihim. Your rewards is going to be with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wala khawfun alayhim wala hum yahzanun. If you have all these criteria, you don't have to fear and you don't feel sorrow. What is huzn? Huzn is for something it has been happening in the past. Or khawf is to do with something is going to happen in the future. Huzn is you are feeling guilty, you haven't done properly what you should have been doing. And khawf is about what is going to happen in future. So, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that when your Iman is perfect and your deeds are good, you don't have to worry about the huzn and khawf, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to take care of them. وَإِذَا أَخَذْنَا مِيثَاقَكُمْ فَوْقَكُمُ الطُّورَ وَرَفَعْنَا فَوْقَكُمُ الطُّورَ خُذُوا مَا آتَيْنَاكُمْ بِقُوَّةٍ وَاذْكُرُوا مَا فِيهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. After giving the commandments, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told them to hold tight these commandments. But what did they do? Is they refused. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought a mountain over their head. Are you accepting, or this mountain is going to be dropped on your head? When the mountain is coming to their head, they suddenly prostrate and they say, we promise we are going to obey all the orders given in Torah and we'll fulfill them. And after this, the mountain was taken out. But when they came out, after very soon, they started breaking the law given by Torah. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, after making the promise, you broke, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive you, did not punish you straight away. Otherwise, you would have been destroyed completely. ثُمَّ تَوَلَّيْتُم مِّن بَعْدِ ذَلِكَ فَلَوْلَا فَضْلُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ وَرَحْمَتُهُ لَكُنتُم مِّنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. If it was not because of the blessing for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you would have been completely destroyed. Then what happened? وَلَقَدْ عَلِمْتُمُ الَّذِينَ اعْتَدُوا مِنْكُمْ فِي السِّبْتِ فَقُلْنَا لَهُمْ كُونُوا قِرَدَةً خَاسِئِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave order that do not do any trading, any business, any activities on Saturday. But because Saturday was made special day for them, only to completely devote it for the ibadah, turn towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do good deeds, righteous deed, not to get involved in the worldly activities. So even now, the Orthodox Jews, even now, they do not do any business activities on Saturday. Because one friend of mine was saying that he phoned in New York to have some business with one of the Jewish person, and he said, sorry, today is Saturday, I cannot make any deal with you, which is forbidden for us. But these people, this was told them not to do, especially not to do any hunting. What their main business was to go to the sea and catch this fish from the sea. So they were forbidden not to do this on Saturday. But by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to test them, rest of the week, very few fish used to come. On Saturday, they were floating on the surface of the ocean, hundreds and thousands of fish. And they used to look at them, you can't touch them. So afterwards, what they did, they said, okay, let them come. What we are going to do is, we are going to do digging lot of trenches near the shores. Because when the water comes and when the tide goes down, the water is going to float back into the ocean, and the fishes which are there in the ponds, they cannot move. We are not going to touch them on Saturday. Sunday we are going to catch them and kill them and make business out of them. So this thing they started doing, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punished them, not immediately, but after several years when they were doing. So this is one thing for us to remember, there is a lesson for us for this. So we don't try to be tricky with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's orders. I'm telling you about one incident. Husband and wife, wealthy people. When zakat is first, after 12 months, 11 months the husband used to keep the money. 11th month he used to give all the money to the wife with a note saying that from tomorrow onwards the money belongs to you. It's nothing to do with me. So he hasn't full 12 months, so he's not paying any zakat. Next 11 months comes. Before the end of the 11th month, the wife used to give all the money to the husband with a note saying that from tomorrow onwards, this money belongs to you, it's nothing to do with me. So the husband and wife never paid zakat, because they say the rule is that if 12 months passes with the money, you have to pay zakat. But he said, I'm only having for 11 months. For next 11 months, it belongs to my wife. It's not my money. So this is what is happening with Sabt. They did, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punished them. And what was the punishment? Those people who did this were turned into apes. And they lived for 3 days. They used to come to their families and friends, and they used to remember them. They could not talk to them. They come and tears were flowing from their eyes. They lived for 3 days and they died. This is a lesson for us. We should not make a fun of the orders of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and try not to trick Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَمَكْرُ اللَّهِ وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ الْمَاكِرِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you want to trick me? I have the best tricks with me. You cannot trick me. That's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَجَعَلْنَا نَكَالًا لِمَا بَيْنَ يَدَيْهِ وَمَا خَلْفَهُ وَمَوْعِظَةً لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, this is a warning for you. We are going to give you a warning for whatever you have done, for the people in future not to try and do things like that. Now comes the ayah number 72 now. I would like to tell them this happened because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِذْ خَتَلْتُمْ نَفْسًا فَادَّارَأْتُمْ فِيهَا وَاللَّهُ مُخْرِجٌ مَا كُنْتُمْ تَكْتُمُونَ. A person was killed, and then you were trying to talk about who has done this and trying to hide things and wanted to blame other people. For this I have to give you, inshallah, still time?
It's 7:30 now.
7:30, okay. And this is what I said about Israeliyat. This story is given, and this is in Exodus chapter 31, ayah of 12 to 17, and also in book of Numbers, chapter 19, ayah number 1 to 10. This is in, because there are 5 books: Exodus, Numbers, Leviticus, Deuteronomy. These are the books, the 5 books, authentic books of Torah. And this story is given. There are 2 things going on. So please, this is Israeliyat. So I cannot show anything in proof from the Quran or the Hadith. But if you listen to this story, you can understand these ayah very, very clearly, inshallah. As I said, the family moves from the clutches of Pharaoh, enter the city. Before that, they used to travel from place to place, but they had all their animals, their belongings, their gold, silver, materials, utensils, everything they had. I'm talking about one family. A person who had 3 children, and the children were married. No, 2 children were married. The small young son was not married. They were moving, and the father had some antiques belongings to a couple of generations, and he used to care for that. While they were traveling, they had a stay for a long time in one place, and he wanted to make sure nobody is going to steal. So near a tree, he digged and put all these precious things underneath and put a stone and covered it with leaves. But when they were moving, it was in a hurry, he forgot to dig and take the whole thing out. And they entered this city and then moved, and then afterwards he suddenly realized he left this most precious thing in a digging area near the tree and covered it with a stone and leaves. And they settled down in an area. All the Bani Israel settled down. And they asked Musa alayhi salam that we are fed up with Manu Salwa, we want to do. And then he said, okay, settle down and start cultivating and do. So they used to have areas marked. This family took out this big area of garden, and their cattle, sheep and cows and everything grazing into that area. They made a fence. And this area belonged to this person, that belonged to this person. And you can imagine 6-7 million, I don't know how many of them. They settled down into huge area. They made a big, like a big center, and they settled down. This father, with 2 sons married and the youngest unmarried, living in the same place, he told his eldest son, I left this thing, could you go? I know this place, I will point it out, go and dig it and bring it out. He said, okay, I'll just talk to my wife. Went and asked wife. She said, why do you want to do this? Let the other brothers do it. You stay calmly and settle down here. So he came and apologized, sorry, Dad, I can't do it. You can ask my other brother. He called the second one, and he gave the same reply, saying that, why my elder brother is not doing? No, the wife said not to do it. So he said, okay, I'll go and ask my wife as well. He went and asked. The wife said, why do you want to do? The elder brother is not doing. You don't do it. Let the younger one go. So then he called the younger one, and he said, my 2 sons said, no, could you please do? He was very obedient. He said, don't worry, Dad. I will go. You point out where it is. And he gave all the instructions, where to go and where to find this one. It was a long area to go. He went. The morning he left, suddenly the father had something like a heart attack. Very severe chest pain, could not breathe, could not talk, and he was about to die. And everybody gathered around him, both the son and the daughter-in-laws and all the neighbors, everybody came around and said, what's going to happen? He said, I think I'm going to die. They said, well, the best thing is that we know what happens if somebody dies. Their belongings, the children fight and kill each other. So while you are still alive, why don't you divide whatever you have got? So he called the eldest one and the second one, and the wives came as well. So he did so many sheep to you, so many cows to you, and from all these belonging, this and this. So it was all divided between the 2 brothers. He completely forgot about the son who was absent from there. and everything. And then he told everybody, whether I live or die, I have done this in front of you. These things belong to them. From the next day onwards, the heart attack completely gone. He started improving, and then he suddenly realized that I have divided all my things, inheritance, between the two, and completely forgot the one who was the most obedient to me. Then this person came back, brought all the precious things to him, and the dad hugged him and cried. I said, son, when you left, this thing happened to me, and I am very sorry, I apologize, that I have given everything belonging to me to your both brothers. I am very, very sorry. But he said, but one thing is that I have got a very precious cow, which I used to hide and tie it behind into near a tree, and this was not in front of me, so I could not have given it to them, but I would like to give this cow to you. That is the only thing I have got. I have given everything. He said, don't worry, Dad, don't worry, I'm quite happy whatever you have given. But he loved that cow, and after a little while, the father died. So the two sons said that this belongs to us, everything belongs to us, father is dead, now you leave this area. So he said, okay, I'll take the cow with me, because this is the precious thing from me. This is one side of story. Usually we see in television and picture, you show one scene, and then suddenly they show another scene, and then come back to the first scene and second scene. So, now, the second scene is that there was an uncle and a nephew. The uncle had no children, but he was very wealthy with lots of things, and he used to live with nephew. But he was a little bit strong person. He used to have orders to the nephew, do this and this and this, but the whole things belonged to the uncle. So the nephew was waiting when he's going to die, then the whole things come to me because he hasn't got any son. Waiting and waiting and waiting, nothing has happened. One time uncle became a little bit ill, so he was hoping that he's going to die. But afterwards, he was recovering. But all the neighbors and everybody saw that he is ill and he is not very well, and the nephew is looking after this and this. When he did not see anything happening, the nephew killed his uncle. And then in the morning, in the night he did it, in the morning he came and started shouting to everybody, please come and see my uncle, somebody has killed my uncle. And I loved my uncle so much, I cannot rest until I find who has killed my uncle. And I want to take revenge. And the people said that, yes, he is the only person related to this person, and he's so upset, he's crying, and so we don't know who killed him. He said, let's go to Musa alayhi salam and ask. He can find out who killed. So they went to ask Musa alayhi salam. Musa alayhi salam, please help this boy. He wants to find out who killed his uncle so that he can take revenge. And Musa alayhi salam said, okay, I'll ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the guidance. He asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because he is Kalimullah. Anything happens, he goes and asks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala listens and responds to him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave a response saying that ask them to slaughter a cow and put the meat of the cow on the dead body, and the dead body is going to tell who has killed. This came back, and now at the same time, these people belong and stayed it with Pharaoh. They know how to preserve a dead body. Because the Pharaoh's body was found and is completely preserved, because they knew what the chemicals to use to preserve the dead body. So he used those chemicals to preserve the dead body of his uncle. So the dead body is there for a couple of days now. Musa alayhi salam came and then he told them, and then as soon as they heard, they told the nephew, Musa alayhi salam is spoken to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the guidance is given, slaughter a cow, put the flesh, and you will find out who killed it. let's go and kill a cow. And now the Nabi knows. The moment a cow is killed and the flesh is going, and the uncle is going to tell my nephew has killed. No. He said, oh, come on, wait. Is it something like a joke? I want to find out. Can't Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala given the name of the person who killed rather than making to go and find a cow and kill and this? Is it a joke? It's not a clear answer. And they came to Musa saying that, oh, he's thinking that, are you joking? Are you making fun? Why can't you say straight away? Why this Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to kill a cow and this and this? He said, look, I have passed on the message. Then they say, okay, go and kill a cow. He said, no. I don't want to do it straight away. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala what type of cow he wants to be killed. Because there are different types of cows. One is, there's a blue type of cow we call nilgai. They see in forest. And there is wild type of cows. There's similar to the same species comes the bulls. So different types of varieties. So he said, can you please ask to specify what type of cow? First question. This is coming to. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked, what type of cow? He said, the normal type of cow, not any specific cow. Then second question, because they say any normal cow, kill it. No. Just go and ask. No, these are all points to delay it. What is the age of this cow going to be? Then Musa asked, the people are asking, what age the cow has to be? Then this comes, it should not be very young. And it says in the books of tafsir, unmarried type is used is very young. It should not be very young. It should not be very old. It has to be a middle age. Answer came, they could have took one of the middle-aged cow and slaughtered it. They said, come on, do it. He said, no. Go and ask what color it has to be. Another question, Musa is asking what question? Oh, it has to be a yellow in color. Now they could find a couple of yellow cows. They say, oh, there is a yellow cow. No, I'm not going to slaughter it. And can you ask, how does the cow is looking? What type of cow we have to find? Another question. The answer is, it has to be a good-looking cow. Okay, so out of all the yellow, there were some good-looking. Pick up one of the good-looking. No. Is there any restrictions of the yellow cows? Another question. Musa asked, okay. Another answer coming is that it should not be involved in cultivating the land and should not be involved in carrying water. Okay. Then they could find one or two cows. They were not involved in cultivation and also did not carry in water. They say, okay, one or two are there. No. I want to ask one more question. He said, what type of yellow it has to be? Then the final answer came is, it has to be spotless. There should not be any doubt on any spot. And when they checked all the yellow cows, they had one or two spots. I said, look, there is nothing matching, so we cannot kill, and we don't know who killed my uncle. Very happy. They were looking, and then suddenly they saw a boy coming with a yellow cow holding the rope, and they said, oh, somebody is coming which is not belong to our area. It's coming with a yellow cow. Let's go. All the people went and saw, checked completely. Middle-aged cow, yellow, spotless. Shall we go? And he said, ask him, but was it involved in cultivation and carrying water? They asked, is this cow involved in cultivation? He said, no. Carrying water? No. I said, no, this completely fixed all the criteria, the 7 points we argued. about the type of cow, the age of the cow, the color of the cow, the looks of the cow, not involved in cultivation and carrying water, and it has to be spotless. Everything is completely fixed. Now we want this cow. He said, I don't want to give. This is a gift from my dad. And before he died, he raised his both hands, saying that, oh Allah, I gave everything belonging to me to his two brothers. And this obedient son who went to do work for me, I had only this cow to give. Oh Allah, give through this cow hundreds and thousands times more reward than what I have given to both the brothers. He made this dua before he died. And this boy said, I'm not going to give you. No, we'll pay you so much. I said, no. Okay, belonging, silver, this and gold and this. He said, no. Then they offered that when we get the cow, we are going to slaughter this cow, and into the skin, we will fill this cow with gold and give it to you. Will you accept this? Then he stopped for a minute and he realized what the dua his dad made. He said that give this son so much and so much and so much, which will be hundreds and thousand times more than what I gave to him. He said, could be that is the dua my dad made and that is fulfilling. Then he said, okay. And they brought the gold and silver and so much giving to that child, and they took, and then they slaughtered the cow, put the flesh on the dead body. The body woke up and said, my nephew killed me in front of everybody. As soon as he heard, he ran away from this area. So this is the whole story of cow, and because of this story, this whole surah is called Surah Baqarah, because of this story of the cow. So we are going to quickly go through the translations, but I did A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajeem, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I told you about this whole thing about Iman. It's not going to be helpful to us unless we have got Amal Saleh and believe in the last day of judgment. Okay? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not guaranteed the Jannah for this group or that group. That's why he's saying it doesn't matter whether you claim to be the Mu'min or you claim to be the Yahudi, you claim to be the Christian or you claim to be the Sabi. There is no guarantee unless and until your Iman is 100% good and it is showed with Amal Saleh. Because how you will say the tree, a healthy tree, that healthy tree will produce fruits. So if the Iman is inside, it will show in the form of Amal Saleh. Believers, Jews, Christians, and Sabians, whoever believe in Allah and the last day and does right deeds shall be rewarded by their Lord, and they have nothing to fear or being sorrowful. And when we made a covenant with you and raised the mount above you, saying, hold firmly to what we have given you and remember what is therein, that you may guard yourself against the evil. Yet after that you turned away, but for Allah's grace and mercy you would have surely been among the losers. You have surely heard of those of you that broke the Sabbath and said to them, be you apes, despised and hated. We made them an example to you, to their own generation and to those who followed them, and a lesson to the righteous people. I just want to mention one point here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked the Bani Israel not to do any business dealings and business and work apart from good deeds on the whole of Saturday. But as far as the Ummah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what has been asked for us to do on the Friday, when the azan of Jummah is done, do not do any business dealing. And we are asked not to do anything only for a short period. Once the azan is done, till you finish the Friday prayer and come out, then only spread yourself and do business. And people used to do business in the marketplace even when the Jummah azan was done. And they used, instead of coming, they were doing business dealing. And then if you look at the tafsir of Surah Al-Jummah, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave order that when the azan is done, no business dealing should be done. And this used to be happening all the time during the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's time, and Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala's time, and Umar radiallahu ta'ala's time. When Usman radiallahu ta'ala became the Khalif, the whole area was so spread and wide. When the azan was done, then it did not reach the people and they were still doing business far away. Then Usman radiallahu ta'ala made this ijtihad, saying that the azan of Jummah will be divided into two azans. One azan will be given earlier on, but when the second azan is done, no business dealing during that time. So that azan was moved nearer time of the khutbah. So that's why we follow that same tradition brought by Usman radiallahu ta'ala anhu. That's why another azan is done before starting the khutbah. Because one azan of Jummah is already done, the second azan is done before the khutbah. So when the azan of khutbah is done, till the Jummah finishes, no business dealing. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is kind, where they were asked not to do any business for whole of the Saturday. We are not asked not to do any business on Friday. No, we have been given just a short period not to do business. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's blessing that Allah has given this to us. For, as I gave you example, that for the Bani Israel, if any impurities occurred on their clothes, they have to cut or burn that piece of cloth. They cannot wash and purify it. But for the Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's ummah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what has been done? Any impurities, you just wash it and clean, and that is going to be purified with them. So this is the whole thing going on. And then what happened? And when Musa alayhi salam said to the people, Allah commands you to sacrifice a cow. This is the whole story given to you. They said, are you making game or joke of us? He said, Allah save me from being an ignorant and fool like you. They said, call on your Lord to make clear to us what kind of cow shall we be given. Moses said, he says, let her be neither old nor. They said, call on your Lord to make clear to us what kind of cow she shall be. Moses said, he says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, let her be neither old cow nor a young, but in between. Do therefore what you are commanded. They said, call on your Lord to make clear to us what her color shall be. Moses said, he says, let the cow be yellow, a rich yellow, pleasing, that's the type, pleasing in the eyes. They said, call on your Lord to make clear to us the exact type of cow she shall be for to us. Cows look all alike. If Allah wills, we shall be rightly guided. Moses said, he says, let her be an unyoked cow, spotless, not worn out with plowing the earth or watering the field. A healthy cow free from blemish. Now you have told us the truth. They said, and they slaughtered her after they had been reluctant to do so. So this was reluctance all the time. instead of slaughtering. And when you killed a man and then disputed concerning him, Allah made known what you were hiding. This is the whole translation and the tafsir I have given to you. So remember, this is from Israeliyat, but once you know the whole story, this translation becomes so clear to you what was happening and why there were so many questions to avoid. This is the whole idea of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling, and Rasulullah sallam told us that when an order comes, do not ask questions. When Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam told that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made Hajj obligatory and farz for you, suddenly from the audience one man stood up and he asked, "O Rasulullah sallam, is it farz every year for us?" Rasulullah sallam kept quiet. He asked again, he kept quiet. He asked third time. He said, "Don't ask any questions when I am conveying orders of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Bani Israel asked questions and they have made everything so difficult for them to act upon. When I said Hajj is first, you just observe whatever I told. If I would have said yes, it's first every year, then for whole Ummah, Hajj would have become first for their whole life, entire life. Every year, as they fast every year, they have to perform the Hajj every year. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to perform the Hajj only once. That's what I've relayed. And don't ask questions when orders of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes. So this is a lesson for us. Whenever an order comes, accept it. Don't try to make it difficult for us. Rasulullah in one of the hadith says that if there are two paths to take, one path is hard, one is easy, I will select the easy path. Why we try to make things difficult for us? So remember, in Deen, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala want to make us follow the Deen which is very, very easy to follow. And in one of the hadiths of Rasulullah said, Ad-Deen yusrun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made your Deen very easy for us. We have to do wuzu all the time before performing the salah. But if it becomes difficult, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have make us. Rasulullah performed the wuzu 3 times, everything 3 times. Then he performed the wuzu doing everything 2 times. And he performed the wudu doing everything once only. And the fourth wudu is just wiping your face 1 time. Right and left hand to the elbows 1 time. Washing your both feet 1 time to the ankle. And touching and wiping the head only 1 time. This is the fourth wudu if you do this one. And suppose there is no water, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the chance to do tayammum. Just touching the sand and wiping our face and both the hands. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And even if the water is there, you can do tayammum. If the water is so less that it's while you are traveling, this is the only water left for you to drink. So you cannot waste it for doing wudu. You can preserve this water and use it to drink it, and you can do tayammum. Water is there, but you are suffering from illness, and the water is going to be harmful to you. You have got temperature, you are ill, and the wetness is going to be harmful. The water is there, but still you are allowed to do tayammum. So this is all easiness for the Jews and the Christians. They have to perform their ibadah in either synagogue or church. For the Muslims, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the whole of the earth a place of worship. So wherever you have time, wherever you are there, you just perform your salah and that's going to be accepted. You don't have to look for a mosque to go and say that I cannot perform my salah except I have to go to the mosque. Going to the mosque is good, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made the whole of the earth the place of worship for us. This is the blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala limited the time not to do business, not on the whole Friday, but after the azan is done for the Jummah prayers, till you finish the Jummah prayer. That is the time we are not supposed to do any business. After that, you are allowed to do business. This is the blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to show gratefulness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I want to finish it now. If there are any questions to be asked, or we can
Is there any hikmah that we should know about naming this Surah Baqarah? Because there's lots of other stories.
There are lots of stories. The Surah Baqarah, the lesson is that this is a warning for Bani Israel. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give, when we move forward, I'm going to mention 17 points where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have given warning to Bani Israel for not doing this, for not doing this, for not doing this, for not doing this. This is a hint for the Ummah of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam that the warnings are given to them, but actually I am telling to you. That's what happens in my place where I come from. My teacher used to tell, and this is in our part of country, what we say that the mother-in-law, if she wants to tell anything to the daughter-in-law, she speaks in front of daughter-in-law to her own daughter saying that, don't do these things, I dislike this, and I don't want you to do anything like this in front of me, to the daughter. So that the daughter-in-law listens and to think what the mother-in-law is telling is for her to obey. So this is so many places in Surah Baqarah are warnings and warnings are warnings given to Bani Israel, and the whole intention is in a warning for us. You don't do those things they have done. You have been selected to do good deeds, and you don't copy what they did. The sabt is there, and there is simple things to do, and they made it difficult for themselves. And if we start doing the same thing, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made the deen very easy, why you should ask? Somebody was making a dua, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, give me sabr, give me sabr, give me sabr. Rasulullah said, why are you making a dua like that? Don't ask dua, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, give me sabr, because the sabr comes when the calamities come. So in a way, you are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give you calamities and then to observe sabr. Say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, save me from calamities and testing. Make things easy for me. Make to worship and obey you as easy and as simple for me. Make everything easy for me. Make doing your ibadah and worshipping you and following the deen very easy for me. Do not make things difficult for me. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make things easy for us, so don't ask for things to become difficult. Some people are very strong. As you mentioned, Abdullah bin Amr bin As radiallahu ta'ala with two young boys. They think that Rasulullah Sallam is the blessed one, so we should not think that we should be like this for him doing. Let us fast every day of the month, stand every night, whole night in prayers, and not to get married. And I mentioned this hadith so many times. The Rasulullah invited them and asked them, did you say like this? Did you say like this? Did you say like this? And they were very happy saying that. He's going to say, okay, that's very good. You are becoming very strong people in Iman. He said, I forbid you. And they say the anger on the face of Rasulullah, because he wants us to make the deen easy for us, not to make it difficult. He said, no. Don't ask to fast every day. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never asked you fast every day except for the month of Ramadan. The rest of the 11 months are free for you. Don't make it difficult for you. Or you can fast on the Mondays and Thursdays and 13, 14, 15 of every month if you want to do, but don't fast the whole month every day except for the month of Ramadan. And I forbid you to stand up all night. He said, don't stand all night in prayers. You can do a couple of times or you can do sometimes, but your body has got the right to sleep and give rest. I am your prophet. I sleep sometime and I perform the salah sometime. And I got married. And that is the sunnah and the hadith he mentioned. An-nikah min sunnati, faman raghiba an sunnati falaysa minni. To get married is my sunnah. If you have all the provisions and facilities to get married, and if you don't get married, you are not amongst the ummah of mine. This is a warning. So Allah made our deen very easy for us to follow. Why we try to make it difficult? Do you want to show to Allah, I am very strong? That Allah doesn't know you are strong. No, Allah says, I have given you strength for this one, and this one. Do these things, and the whole entire life is for you to enjoy. Fulfilling the duties of the deen and relax and enjoy the whole life. The whole world is created for you, for your benefit. Everything in the world is created for you, and you are created to worship me. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونِ. You have been created to worship me. But the rest of everything, all my creation is to help you, to serve you. The sun is there, the moon is there, the earth is there, the wind is there, the rain is there, all the cultivations are there, all the animals are there, and all of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's creation is there for our benefit, to serve us. And our duty is to serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.